Hello everyone, welcome to Naomi's Bookshelf. I have a book haul here for you. It's a little bit, this is from the last couple months. I haven't been hauling the books, or I've been buying a few books, but not showing them to you. So I'm gonna show them to you today. I think these are all the books I've bought, but I probably missed a couple. But these are for the most part what I've bought in the last several months. So let's just go over what I have. I'm in the midst of reorganizing my shelves, so I'm gonna show you them and then I'll put them away. That's my goal. So one of the first things on my pile is The Hem of His Garment by Dr. Michelle Bankston. I have read this, reviewed this last year, loved it, and finally bought myself a copy. So this is a Christian nonfiction, kind of devotional about turning to God in times of trauma, in times of struggle, in times of pain. And it's amazing. Everyone should read this if you are wanting to have scripture references to turn to. It is personal. There's also different things at the end of each chapter, little steps that you can take. And I feel like it's a really good format. And I really, really loved it. Another thing that I bought at the same time was this bind up of Dakota Treasures by Lorraine Snelling. This is a series I've owned now 3 times in my life. This is my 3rd time. I owned it all and I got rid of it when I moved from Ontario, and then I got picked up again from my cousin, and then I got rid of it again somewhere along the line, and now I'm like, I really want to own it again. So I'm not going to get rid of these ones this time because clearly this is a series that I just want to have in my life. This is a series like a historical fiction set in the West. And the first book, which is Ruby, this one here, is where this sister is taking care of her younger sister. And her younger sister is Opal, I believe. And they go to a small Western town where there's a saloon, and they end up having, for some reason, I remember they own it. And she is trying to change it and make a difference in her small town. And it's a Christian romance series, and it's so good. Another thing that I bought recently is Pierre Poilievre, A Political Life by Andrew Lawton. I don't go political on my channel. Let's just say that. But this should tell you which side I'm leaning on. I'm excited to pick this up and read it. I feel like it'll be worth it. And I really hope we don't have another 4 years of Trudeau. And I don't go political. That's the most political I'm going. Okay. I bought a few Agatha Christie, but they're not all together, so we'll go through the list as we come. I own a blue hardcover edition of The Mystery of the Blue Train, but I wanted another edition. This is a recent reread for me, and I quite enjoyed my reread compared to what I thought it was going to be like. So I'm happy to have this one. I also think this cover is just really interesting, and like the skull. I think it's just such a great cover. So I'm happy to own this one and in this edition. And hopefully it's not going to be like on my worst list of the year, because I do like it better than some other Agatha Christie's. I picked up, this is actually currently my haul that I got for my birthday deal. So a lot of them are from Indigo and don't have the stickers removed. But this is The Travels of Marco Polo by Marco Polo. So this is the nonfiction, his journals from when he was traveling in 1271. So I have wanted to read this for a while, and I am glad to now own a copy. I think it'll be interesting to read about the world at this time, traveling at this time, especially because I'm reading Tale of Genji right now. And it's not the exact time, place, but it's a very similar era. And so I think that'll be interesting to read and see another perspective of the world during that time frame. I also have 450 from Paddington. My edition that I have and I've owned for many years is Falling Apart. That is an edition that is now kind of retired into looking pretty on the shelf as opposed to being held and read. So this is gonna be my new reading book of 450 from Paddington. This is Miss Marple, and I also couldn't deny the Marple covers because they're just so good. This is about her friend, what's her name, Mrs. McGillicuddy, who is on a train and she sees someone get murdered, but no one believes her. So she tells her friend Miss Marple, and Miss Marple is trying to figure out who died, and what's going on. Always the good one. That's the first Christie book that got me hooked into her. I also picked the Aeneid by Virgil. I'm always on the lookout for ancient literature because I find I really enjoy it. So I'm happy to pick this one up. I don't know what it is. Like, this says it's an epic poem, which is a successor of Homer's. So I don't really know anything, but I'm kind of interested to I'll look it up as I go into it, but I know I'm gonna be wanting to read this eventually. I also picked up Utopia by Thomas More. Now, to be quite honest, the reason why I know of this book is because of Ever After, which is the Cinderella movie with Drew Barrymore. And I want to read it because of that reason. I know this is also ancient, or it's like 1500s, 1600s. So that will be exciting. And we'll see if I can get to it in this realm of time. But yeah, I needed to read just because of the movie from my childhood. I also got Victorian Ghost Stories. This one has ghost stories from many authors. There are from Mark Lemmon, Tom Hood, Mary Elizabeth Bratton, Robert Louis Stevenson, lots more. So I thought this would be great for October time, and nice little short story collection to pick up during that month and see. So I grabbed it while I could. The last thing I got from nope, actually not the last thing, sorry. I got a couple more things from Indigo. But I got this one from H.G. Wells, which is his collection which has The Time Machine, The Island of Dr. Moreau, The War of the Worlds, The First Man on the Moon, and The Invisible Man. So I want to read The Island of Dr. Moreau, and this just happened to have more editions, which is fantastic. I think it's beautiful, and because I got it with 30% off, I was happy to buy a more beautiful edition, because why wouldn't you not buy the more beautiful edition? So hopefully that's going to be on my reading plans very soon. This is also from Indigo. This was Ancient Legends, Mystic Charms, and Superstitions of Ireland by Lady Wilde. So this is just mythology from Ireland, and I am excited to have this on my shelves, pick it up, and read some more mythology. I also have The Greeks in Asia by John Boardman. This is I think just what it is. It's a nonfiction about this time era. There's tons of pictures in it. So it's very much like a coffee table book, but I mean, that's kind of what I was wanting. I was wanting just something that was really like deep in history, and there's even some colored pictures. So yeah, this is what I was getting. Hopefully it will be fantastic, and I'll read it whenever I choose to pick it up, because that's the way it works, doesn't it? I also got Knitting and Crocheting All-in-One book for dummies. So this one is simple because I have been crocheting, and I was like, I need to know these stitches. I need to have some sort of a background information. And so I picked this up, and it was very helpful learning the different stitches because I was doing single crochet for an entire blanket. And so it's simple. But I learned how to do double crochet for another activity or another sweater I'm making. And now I'm in this one reading about other things. And there's even patterns and stuff. So this was a requirement for my life right now as a new crafter. I picked up this graphic novel called Beowulf by, I think his name was Zach Weinersmith. But the author's last name is Weinersmith. This is a retelling of Beowulf. And I loved this. I read this from my library, and then I went out the same day and picked it up at Indigo for my birthday because it was just a perfect graphic novel retelling, middle grade. The art was fantastic. I really enjoyed it, and I really liked the different take that it took on Beowulf. So this is really great. And I'm recommending this if you need a retelling, if you're looking at something kind of related to that. Beowulf is fantastic. It follows the first part of Beowulf, but it's definitely kid version, and oh, just so good. I have a couple books here that I don't remember when I collected them or when I got them, but I know I haven't hauled them for you, so I'll show them to you now. The first is None Like Him by Jen Wilkin. This is nonfiction about how, let's see, the subtitle I think says it best, 10 ways God is different from us and why that's a good thing. So it'll be interesting to read about these different ways that we can see the amazingness of God, but in a different way, because we're not like him. And then also there's 10 Words to Live also by Jen Wilkin. And this is delighting in and doing what God commands. So this is the 10 commandments, I think more spelled out. And I think that's really interesting. And I'm going to have a very good time reading that because I really enjoyed her study on Exodus, which had that stuff. Another book that I picked up recently, now this is all I think used bookstore haul, is Pilate's Wife by Antoinette May. This is biblical fiction, I believe Christian, if not historical fiction, but Bible times with Pilate's wife during the time of Jesus being executed and what that happened like in the palace. So I grabbed this one. I also grabbed the Seven Dials mystery because I have only like a big copy of it, and I like these little pocket books. And this cover is just really good too. I think this isn't Adele, it's a pan, and I like the pans actually a lot too. So I'm glad to own this one now, or this version of that one now. I also picked up another 13 at dinner. This is my second one with this exact title, but that cover was just like, I couldn't refuse. Come on, it's just too good. I also picked up The Letters of Napoleon to Marie Louise. This is a bit of an old book, but it has all of Napoleon's letters, I guess, or some of his letters. I don't know too much about this, but I've developed an interest in Napoleon because it seems like every classic that I read refers to Napoleon. And I'm like, I just want to know more about the man himself. So if you know any Napoleon biographies that are really good, please let me know. I've been looking for a good quality one for a while, but I found this and I thought, why not pick this up and put it on my shelves, maybe get to it sooner rather than later. Now that I'm thinking about it, this might be a good Jane Austen July book for reading a contemporary of Jane Austen, because I do have another letter collection I'm reading, but this is actually Letters from Napoleon, or all of them are Letters from Napoleon. So I don't know, but I would love it if you have any recommendations about Napoleon biographies. I also got 2 books in a series. So I got Smoke and Ashes and The Shadows of Men by Ibar Mukherjee. This are at least book 2 and book 3, and is this book 4 maybe? I'm not sure. I think they might be. And I'm reading the series with Berna and Nikki, so I picked them up when I found them. This is a great series set in India in the 1920s, just after World War I, where this white man named Sam, he is moved there because he just needs to get away from England, and he's entering a country that has civil unrest, that has a lot of clash of cultures, that has very much like class distinction, and it is a very interesting read because it shows you historical differences, but it also is about like this mystery, and the mysteries I think well put together as well. So really recommend this series. I also picked up another bad boy from history I'm really interested in, is Benedict Arnold. I read a biography about him and I was just so interested. So I found this one, which is Benedict Arnold's Navy. And so this is by James L. Nelson. I just thought, you know what? I'm more interested. I want to know about these bad guys in history. And it's like, I want to know about these villains and what made them tick and how did they do these things. And so I'm not like the super villains. I'm just kind of like these villains that I know of, but I don't know about, if that makes sense. So looking into their backstory, Benedict Arnold is one of them. I think I have another short story collection that I forgot to grab. I found 3 more. First of which was the Harlequin Tea Set and Other Short Stories, or Other Stories by Agatha Christie. I've officially finished this one and given it a rating of 4 out of 5 after rating each story individually and rating it. So I'm glad to own that. I'm trying to own all of the short story collections. This is also technically a new purchase or a newer purchase, but I have read it. That is In All Things by Melissa B. Kruger. This is a Christian Bible study about the book of Philippians, and it is one I highly recommend if you're looking at it, even just for personal study or for a group discussion where you have varying levels of knowledge. So this worked really well in our Bible study where we have some people who have been Christians for their whole lives and some who have been Christians for less amount of years. And it's a good discussion point for everyone. So I recommend this one. And then I also purchased The Friendship Poems of Rumi, translated by Nader Kalali. This one I just had to buy as well because I didn't have to. But I own the other two books in this set and I really wanted the full trio because they are aesthetically beautiful. So I purchased all of those books in the last 3 months, maybe. I know it's a lot, but at the same time, it's also not that much for a long period of time. And this is my most recent haul for a while, so I'm sure there's books I'm missing. But yeah, these are all the books I bought recently. If I haven't read them, let me know which books you think I should prioritize. Also, if you want to buddy read any of these, please let me know. That'd be really great. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye for now.
In a house that I don't know,